My dear audience, hi again. Today my guest is a friend of mine who I know since 30 years. Actually our careers is very similar. I'm so happy to have him here. He is a chemical engineer, he's a coach, he's a project manager, and I am so grateful to have him with me. I would like him to introduce himself. Who is Nejat Murat Erkan?
Okay. Thank you, Selnur. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting. Yes, indeed, it has been 30 years. Time really flies. As you know, you mentioned I have an engineering background. We studied together, chemical engineer. And after I finished my engineering degree, I went to US. I got my MBA. I was in between the decision whether should I go to UK or US. But after I did the feasibility, it seemed to be that US is more reasonable for me, for my goals, perspective, and the target that I want to reach. So I moved to US, spent 7 years there in US. I got my MBA. I work in the pharmaceutical industry as natural, since coming from the engineering background in the chemical industry. So I did work there and learned the life, culture. I really loved living with the different cultures. It's a melting pot, so that was great. Then between 93 and year 2000, I was there. In year 2000, I moved back to Turkey.
Why did you come back actually?
Before I went, actually it was my decision just to go there and work, get experience, then move back, because I am really attached to my country, family, they're all here. And I want to bring something back with me to Turkey, to bring new way of thinking, new way of doing business, help the young generation, help to my family, country. So that was a initial motivation that I had. And when I was completing my journey in US, it was about the year 2000. It was a good timing as well. So Turkey was really in a good moving, and the economy was very good. After that, we had some fluctuations, but you know, I'm still happy to be here and to invest intellectually and time-wise in Turkey. I'm very happy about it.
I am also glad that you are back, because we all need these profiles, actually, these people.
Thank you.
In our country, because new generation get the inspiration, new generation admires. Therefore, it's very important, I think, that you are back to here.
Yes, thank you.
And when you come back, you started to work in
different industry, actually. So as I mentioned, I started to work first in pharmaceutical, well-known pharmaceutical companies in US. Throughout those years, I developed and closely work with the concept of working in a matrix organization. So when you say matrix organization, you have a work plan. To be able to execute this work plan, you should have methodology. A project management methodology, one of the best way of managing the different structures within the company. So that's why I inherited in my DNA that kind of approach, the result-oriented approach with the project management methodology.
Yeah, this is I would like to highlight here.
Thank you.
Because you are the one of the first, maybe the first. I don't want to say wrong things, but about the earned value in project management.
Yes, exactly. So if you look at the project management practices, it's like in the year 1967 it started out in US in the Department of Defense and the construction businesses. And late 70s, beginning of 80s, it started to be kind of growing the concept in Turkey as well. So when I moved back about year 2000, it was still new area. So earned value management is one of the disciplines under project management. What it does, actually, to shows you as a dashboard to understand what is the performance level of the project. For example, like when we talk about project, everybody can have a project. Even elementary school students can have a project, like 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year.
Exactly.
When we talk about the 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of projects, like in US, special programs and projects, so you need a methodology to understand what is the performance, right?
Exactly.
For example, from here you want to drive to Ankara, you have a full of tank of gas, right? So you know that it should be good enough to go there.
Exactly.
But if you go too fast, you might start spending more than you should.
Exactly.
Then you can be short to reach Ankara.
Exactly.
Or if you go to save some gasoline, gas in the tank, you can go a bit slower, then you'll be late for the project. So the
Exactly.
project management basic, it gives the time management, cost management, quality management within the given scope. And the earned value management helps you to understand what is the performance level of this one. So you don't want to stay behind, or you don't want to go too fast. So project management says right on time, right in the scope, and right in the budget. So resources always scarce. You don't want to spend extra time, money, or anything.
I am so hypnotized listening you, really.
Thank you very much.
And you know, I am sure our audience will be like, you know, oh my God, it is really wonderful. Thank you. I would like to ask another question, because I know this is the congress that you organize, lead the project management congress, right?
Yes, exactly. As I mentioned, I wanted to give something to my country. So I attended many conferences and congresses on the project management. I see there's a huge world going around. And so beside the work, and I work in a professional in a company, but what I see, there's a need in the industry, right? So some companies are doing good in this perspective, but on the other hand, we need to train and educate the people coming from childhood all the way to the like graduated and professionals. So planning is very important in the project base, and to be able to increase this awareness, I did several conferences, workshops in Turkey, and it was one of the biggest, I believe. I was the one of the president of the project management associations. I did one of the biggest in Turkey. There was like more than 500 people.
I remember, I was there.
People, and the well-known companies CEOs were there as a keynote speaker. It was a very good enjoyment, memorable time for young generation, and also with the CEOs, because they're sharing something. When you share something, you are more satisfied, fulfilled with yourself, because we should give something to new generation, because this is the way of how we're going to develop our culture and the country.
Yes, true. I always say project is a lifestyle, and this is, you adapt every moment, every place.
Exactly.
Marriage, when you go to the new job, every time, every place, right?
Exactly. Project management, if we're saying that what is project management, basically, you manage the time, budget, and the quality within the given scope. If you want to get married, so you have a time limitation for the wedding time, you have a budget, and you want to have a quality in the given scope, that's it. If you want to have a like trip, when I was living in US, I drove from East Coast to West Coast. I did exactly in project management. I had 22 days. I drove from East Coast, North Carolina, all the way to California. I came back, so I had a budget and the quality of the places I wanted to see.
Exactly.
So always sometimes get behind this project time and everything, so you have to rush. And I was with my brother.
Wonderful.
We drove 30 hours non-stop to be able to reach my project, my own deadline.
That's wonderful.
That's a true story. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
And then project management, then coaching fields, right?
Yes. So, Selnur, I mean, sometimes you start your career and you have a goal and target you have to reach, but different things you reach, you touch, and you see on your way. And so coaching was one of the areas that really appealed and caught my attention, because in project management, is communication is one of the skill set that each project manager should have.
Exactly.
So the real project manager's job is the communication. 80% of their job is communication. When you say communication, coming in the coaching perspective, you should be able to listen, understand.
Yes.
So when you say listening, so like, as you know, in the coaching, 3 levels of listening.
Yeah.
The first one, you say you're listening, you're looking, but your mind is somewhere else. Like,
Exactly.
oh, I did the same, or oh, she has a very nice necklace. And so you're somewhere else. You say you're listening, but you're not exactly listening. The second level, you listen, you hear, maybe you see some mimics, you still pay attention to the mimics and body language, etc., but still it's limited. But in the more deeper third level of listening, as we say, you put your soul, heart, and the body whole together. You be like him or her. So you exactly get attached with the heart, with the mind and everything. Then you understand how the things going.
Exactly.
And the same thing, and this skill set, why I really developed myself on that one. Last few years, it's been like more than 5 years, I'm in the sales and marketing area. And so some of the words or the needs are sous-entendu. It's not like spoken, right?
Just one moment. Again, this is an important thing. You speak a lot of languages. I don't understand. It's French, probably, right?
Yes, I graduated from
Exactly,
high
yes.
school. Then I added English. It came by default. Since I was living in US 7 years, I live with South American colleagues, so we live together. He was my roommate. I learned Spanish, Turkish as a native language, and I learned Russian in the last 5 years. So
Is it 5 now?
5. I love cultures. I like to be around people with the different cultures. I like to learn new cultures, languages. When I go to different countries, due to my current job, I got to travel some part of the world in the different cultures. And I really get connected with people, try to learn few words in their language to say hi, how are you, etc. It really connects people. I love getting connected with people, and while doing this, I try to understand what they really need. Because as I mentioned, some words are not spoken. You should understand. If you understand the need, you can deliver what they wanted.
Exactly.
So that's why in my sales business, it really helps me to
Listening skills, right?
listening, and I'm more in the technology sales. So
Yes, I forgot to. This is you are a digital transformation consultant. I mean, this is what is in your area, and
yes, exactly.
this is as consultancy. It's very important how you understand what is their need, and this listening skills. I totally agree with you. Helps and supports your current position.
I fully agree with you, because again, due to my job, I talk with the senior level, from CEOs to chairmen to C level,
And worldwide, as far as I know.
worldwide.
Yeah.
So the needs could be differently. It seems to be differently at first, because of the language and the cultural thing. But if you really listen, heart to heart, you understand that it's coming to a certain point.
Yes.
So how can I do my business better? And how can I incorporate technology to my business? So when we're talking about the digital transformation,
Yes, this is my question.
the world is going to digital.
Yes.
So you cannot avoid this. So if you forgot your wallet, you don't go back home. But if you forgot your telephone, you go back home. You have to catch it, because it is your connection to your business,
Yes.
to your family, to globally connectivity. So that is what is actually digitalization. What is digitalization is actually you are doing the same business, whatever you do, in what industry you are, doesn't matter. You are doing it less cheaper, in real-time results, and more productive way. So in other words, yes, before you were going to, in the sales perspective, you used to go to talk to different countries, right?
Yes.
To do the like an agreement or going on the project, discussing, analyzing, etc. You have to go physically sit and
Exactly,
talk.
exactly.
Now through the communications channels, different. You have through the phone. There are different applications that you can use. You have like the digital video conferencing devices.
Exactly.
So you, at the same time, in the morning you can talk with Hong Kong, and in the afternoon you can talk with US.
Exactly.
So that is the how one aspect of the digitalization, the communication, how you can do faster, better, and quicker, and less cheaper.
Exactly.
Think about to go into US, it will cost you $2,000
Exactly.
plus at least 24 hours.
Exactly.
Go and come back for 1 hour meeting. You have to fly 10 and come back another
Correct.
10. It makes 20 and 2 hours for the meeting. So it's like 24 hours instead of 1 hour. This is one aspect of the digitalization. Secondly, what you could say, I mean, you can get the reports and everything, like, in writing for the accounting part, for the financing, for the other sales. You can get the reports manually. You can try to make analysis. You can get the results, PowerPoint, etc. You can do these things on the regular legacy basis, or versus in the digital real time. Now everybody has like different type of like solutions in the cloud solution, databases. You don't have to invest largely in the infrastructure. You can buy services, cloud services. You can ask your team, instead of writing on the paper, they can type into the system, and from the system you can real time get it. So this is one aspect of digitalization. This is really time saving and smart way of doing business. At the same time, you can inherit and get the data, and you analyze it and get the reports real time and make a quick decision. This is the way of doing the business.
The life is getting faster and faster, and I am very, very pleased to have this digital platform, because I do online trainings, I do my sessions through the video chats and everything, and this is saving my time. Incredible, incredible. I am so thankful for digital transformation, consultancy, everything related to that, really.
Yes, exactly. You'll see, I have a niece, she's about to finish the high school, and she's going to get into a new career, the university. I consult her, like, just look differently, think differently. Don't look at the classical jobs you have. The most of the jobs in 10 years do not exist now. You can read through the articles and many well-known consultants and the doyens. So most of the jobs, actually, we don't know yet. So we should be able to understand the needs. And when you talk and everybody's coming to the same point, the time is scarce. The only resource in the world, I would say, you cannot get back is time. 1 second, you cannot go back. Just 1 second. You say it's nothing, 1 second, but 1 second, you cannot go back. The value of 1 second could be worthless. If you miss a plane, if you miss a train, like, can repeat, but if you like miss something, you can lose millions of dollars within 1 second. So that's why the most valuable parameter in our life is the time. So to be able to use the time efficiently, to be able to use that time in the area that we really wanted to enjoy, you save the time from the traveling, spend with your family. This is the value for the life, I would say.
You speak like, I'm following you like, oh my God, really. I am so thankful to have you.
I'm always happy to be with you. Thanks for being a friend for 30 years.
Thank you. And now, you also already share with your niece what are the recommendations that you are. What is your maybe sentence, maybe word to the new graduated people or new generation? What is your recommendation for them? Advice?
Yes, we can say technology is good to use and etc. But before saying that one, when I was living in US, I met with many cultures, as I mentioned. There's a one Chinese word, I really like it. It says, chance helps sometimes, but hard working helps all the times. That's really the main core things of whatever you do. Yes, technology helps. Analysis, like you have supercomputer do some estimations and everything, but you should always work. So as a young generation, and I will be very happy to say that, again, I visited more than 60 countries, I would say. It is very good to get to know the different cultures, but what I see in the Turkish culture, we are very hard-blooded, outgoing, like quick. We make quick decisions sometimes, but only thing we're missing. Actually, we should go back, and I do give trainings in project management. I give this training as well. So we should invest a bit more on our planning. So what I say as a word, like organization, coordination, we don't have the translation of this word into Turkish.
Yes.
Because
True.
like we have a lot of saying, like caravels like make a line on the way.
Yes, exactly.
Like if you say yeah. Or like if you put your front of the wheel of the car, the rest will come. So we have some saying like you start will. So it's good to be like a quick starter, but we have to be very good in planning, because planning is everything. Once you plan, if you deviate from your plan, at least you have a reference point you have to get.
Yes.
And the technology in this perspective, it really helps you to put it back. Like with the GPS global positioning system, so it gives you precisely where you are. But if it fails down, so what you're gonna do? You should be able to have this skill set in like bare hands. You should be able to find your hands. Looking at the stars, back then it was using the stars to find the way. Or looking at the forest or the moon and etc. So you should have this basic knowledge.
Yes, correct.
Then on the top, use the technology to go with the rocket speed. So that's what it is. And the digital world is coming. We cannot stop. So if you just watch, you'll be too sorry to watch it.
Exactly.
As a Turkish nation, as a Turkish young generation, I see the enthusiasm and the energy, but we should teach them to be planned. We should teach them how to be setting the goals, and then how to go to that goal through the roadmap and the following the steps in a planned manner. That's what I would like to share with the young generation.
Thank you. We are coming to the closure.
Yes.
What is your long-term plan, or what's your next?
Yes. So I will keep learning new languages. Of course, that's kind of joy of my life, and so interesting. I was in Nepal, and I learned new language. And in Nepal, kitab is the same kitab.
Oh, I didn't know.
Kalem is the same. Like I was shocked. It's very nice. So it is not the word. Word carries a lot of meaning in the sentence.
Yes.
Just one word, it has a lot of meaning. But that is the thing that I will keep learning, and through the technology. Yes, maybe in the future, because there are some tools, you don't have to learn the language. You speak on your own languages, it understands it, but you lose the connectivity on that one. It's very good to technology to use it, but again, going back to the zero, you should learn and use the technology to go faster. So to do that, I will help to my clients throughout the digital journey, to help them to how to use the technology into their business, how to improve their businesses with less effort, less costly, and more productive way of making their business.
Thank you, Murat, for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your smiley face.
Thank you,
and
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have Murat with me, Nejat Murat Erkan, who is the digital transformation consultant, and I will say goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.